I think this year, one of the big things that God did in my life through Jesus School was breaking off pride and just revealing pride in my life, like areas that, things that I'm passionate about. I became super prideful in them, just like boasting, hey, I'm really good at this, and making sure that's like what everyone knows about me. And so through that, I think, yeah, just God revealed pride in my heart, and since then has continued to show me true humility and how to recognize false humility, even, which is a form of pride. And yeah, so I think that was something that I didn't really expect that God would do. I was expecting more to be equipped for ministry and whatever else is after. But through God revealing that to me about the pride in my heart was, it showed me like he cares a whole lot more about heart issues, and just cares about the small things. And so this last year in Jesus School really was God very tenderly and gently like pointing out the small things in my heart that if like if they the small things in my heart, if they went unchecked, that they would grow into something bigger and bad, and just not good. So yeah, so I think that was something that surprised me, was that he pointed out the small things. And I'm super grateful that he did.
There's a lot that God did in my life over Jesus School. I think that a couple of the biggest things that I would want to touch on would be just my actual understanding of who God is. Like, I came into Jesus School not understanding God's character because of the kind of church that I grew up in, which is a good church, but it's just not something that... There were a lot of things about God that were left out, and a lot of things that God doesn't do were blamed on him. And I essentially had a view of God as if he was some abusive, over-controlling father. But now I see God for who he truly is, as a good father. On top of that, I feel like something that Jesus School really did is it took knowledge that was up in my head and it moved it down into my heart. We read a book by A.W. Tozer, God's Pursuit of Man, and one of the quotes he has in there essentially says that you can know what food is, but you can still starve if you don't have that true understanding of actually experiencing it. And I had that knowledge of Christ. I knew who he was, but I didn't actually know what it meant because I had never experienced him in reality through day to day.
This year, there was like a lot of redefining of my identity. It was like I was kind of still at the beginning part of my journey with like the Lord. I didn't really know who he was. Like I just knew that God was God and that was it really. Like, and you should do everything you can to like follow his laws in a sense. And so, yeah, I was kind of still like freshly new in my walk with the Lord, and I didn't really have any community like within my like walk, and so that was something I was like asking the Lord a lot, and yeah, and Jesus School was like really great in implementing that and just making me realize that community was what I really needed, and community is what helped me find my identity too. It's just like I was made to be with his people, and it fills my cup like none other. And yeah, and just like that's the Lord's design for us, is to like to be around his people and be family and more than just people, But yeah, it was just more redefining of what my worth and my value was in life, and I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know I was meant to be just like living for Christ and surrendering my life to him. And yeah, Jesus School was like made me realize that like I need God, and even in the moments where like I try to walk away and like think that I don't need him, like that was the biggest lie that like my that my brain can tell me. It's like, and when I submit to his spirits, life is just that much better.